The best shita to have no shitas. That's the das Torah.
Yeah, it's on an MBD album. I don't think it's on Spotify.
We'll get the
whole
nigga.
chunk of MBD albums not there.
Let's sing the visions to
MBD?
Karibon.
Oh, man, MBD is the king.
Mashiach ben David's the king.
Mashiach ben David, yeah.
That's it.
We're ready for Shabbos, yeah. But we're bringing back. We're bringing back. We went to Tzfat, and hopefully in a few weeks, Rav Avshi, we were with Rav Avshi for Shabbos.
Oh, beautiful. He's awesome.
And he's going to come to us for Shabbos in a few weeks. Beautiful. Yeah, hopefully the end of March. So that'll be really nice. But I got to recharge my batteries a bit.
Why didn't he recharge you?
What? No, I said I got to recharge my batteries in Tzfat. I went for Shabbos and it was just, it was good.
But it's like weed.
Right, yeah, that's why I know I have to unplug. I saw a video, if you charge your phone too much, it can blow up. Yeah, it is.
It's the source of it, no?
Huh? Right.
It's the source, the shorish.
100%. Yeah.
All the deliveries in Neyakov came from Tzfat.
Oh yeah.
That's how they all got busted, because I knew the family that were bringing it. I never told the police, but they came and arrested the Rosh Yeshiva.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Baruch Hashem, he obviously didn't do anything. He was just had a yeshiva that happened to have a dealer who was connected to the family who was dealing it all from Tzfat.
I want to introduce myself.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Geffen, Ivna and
Nice to
Geffen.
meet you, Eli Sharp.
When Rav Avshi comes, I would love to be around.
Yeah, you live here?
Yeah, I just moved here.
You'll be here.
Welcome. Yes, you'll be here.
Yeah.
No
You'll be
question.
here.
Okay.
I mean, again, it's tentative, so, but
Nothing's ever 100% and
Planning
it's
with,
100%.
the Tzfat minded can be.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I would love to participate. Whatever you guys.
Yeah, whatever we're gonna
All
do.
the
we're gonna
tzaddikim.
If you do a not scheduled oneg shop.
Not scheduled, right? That's gonna. Nice to meet
True
you.
Oneg. So we're just learning about Tanug
We're
now.
learning. You're right. Tzfat. One last thing about Tzfat. He was saying
Tzfat is
that
Tanug as well.
Tzfat. He was saying that. Because I was trying to understand from him what the source of Tzfat was.
Ruach, no?
Right. So he was saying it's Ruach. I was telling me the
Ruach.
Yud Kei Vav Kei and all this and all that. But
Arizal.
and the Arizal, but what brought the Arizal? He said Mashiach. The Navi told him to come here,
Yeah.
but when he came here, the Ramak was here. But I was trying to understand, what brought the original, the OG tzaddikim.
But the Tanaim were in
Tanaim were here, right? But I'm saying again,
Shem Bayachai.
why? What is it about Tzfat? And so
It overlooks Meron.
He said Tzfat is
the Rimmon.
Tzfat is just. He was saying that all the other places, all the big places in the world, the cities like New York City, everything's always based around commerce. So it's based around money. It's based around
Definitely
commerce,
not in
location.
Tzfat.
He's like.
That's why a lot of people told me never to move there, because it's not based on...
But he said so. But so why is Tzfat still? Why was Tzfat a destination, and why is Tzfat just so much art? Is because that's all it is. Yerushalayim, although Yerushalayim, the base of Mikdash, it was also a place of business.
Right.
And all these other places, Tveria was a place of business. And all these other places were a place of business. So they also had
pure ruchnius.
He said the problem and the positive about Tzfat is that it's only ruchnius. That's all there was. There was nothing else.
You're reminding me of a Torah
that
that
was always the poorest of the poorest.
He said that's why there was never any Avodah Zorah there as well.
Right.
It was Tahor, Noki. That's why Shem and Ava's yeshiva was there.
Shem and Ava's yeshiva was there, right?
So it goes all the way back. So there's a certain Tahara, Kedusha that enables for the purest form of Torah, which is the Soda Torah,
right,
the Panimis of Torah, to come down. Now, what's going to be amazing about this Perek? It's interesting that there's definitely some Min HaShamayim Hashgacha that we started off with Tzfat and a shir about Oneg and with Ginsburg and Chabad, and we mentioned Jem and everybody together, yeah, all Suzanne. Even the meaningful people over there.
Meaningful.
Yeah, everyone's meaningful. So the point is that we brought up a lot. Rav Moshe Weinberger, that was a Gevaldik Nekuda that Rav Shlomo said. The letter he wrote, Rav Moshe said that's my letter. Because I've written probably the same letter to Rav Moshe. He never said such a good answer to me.
Right.
I have to look back at my old emails, his answers back to me. But I think it was, his main Nekuda was just Simcha and that whole thing, because people had a lot of tainas on Eish Kodesh, or anyone who doesn't choose a derech. I met these people there. That was part of their snagdis towards what was going on, all these chaburas that were developing, like Shira David now as well, that they don't have a specific derech. I was told by a dan, just become a belzer. Why are you having so much arguments nefesh? Or the yeshiva shabbat, be yeshiva, or the Chabadniks, just be Chabad. Yeah. or Breslov, when I worked for Breslov, or the Breslovers were like, you're working for a Voish, how can you not be, part of the Machane Breslov? Why aren't you Adasof for Rabbi Nachman and v'chulu v'chulu? You're in Uman, my husband helped sponsor you to come to Uman, your son to come to Uman, and you're not even waving the flag. I said, your husband did it because he knows I'm a truthful person. Why do I have to wave a flag? Ma kesher, yeah?
Right.
So I think the point is it's a painful path, what Rav Shlomo said, but it's a truthful path. It's an Indian of neshamas klalis. There's certain neshamas of klali who are connected to the shorish of Klal Yisrael. Now, we've been learning in Tanya the different levels of neshamas connecting to different parts of levels in terms of Rashayim, Beinanim, Tzadikim. So in the Tanya, we obviously want to head towards the level of Beinanim. Everyone should be trying to head towards Beinanim because being a Tzaddik is something which seems more as a gift.
Right.
It's based on the way I'm understanding it, it's like a level that you sort of need to be born of a sort of Tzaddik neshama. Like maybe you can become it. Rava, we learned at the beginning, calls himself a Beinanim. We'll get into that whole Indian. So Beinoni seems to be with the direction where we're heading. That's what we're going to start today, the Perek 12. Before we do begin the 12th chapter, we have to summarize this whole Indian of Rishayim Gemurim and Rishayim She'ena Gemurim. Yeah, this Reish, I can't even know how to say in English, RSHG, as Shmuel Diamond says it, or RG. The original said OG, there's the RG. Who's the RG? Rishayim Gemurim, yeah?
Rishayim Gemurim.
Which we don't want to be connected to. So the whole thing is with the Rishayim Gemara, it's very interesting. And I asked the Tam Chochem this yesterday, Rav Yosef Bornstein, the Rosh Kolo here. I asked him about this whole Indian. He says the Tanya very much doesn't touch in detail on the Rishayim Gemara. It just goes over it, like it's Derek Agav. It's not like Be'in. He mentions the Rishayim She'ena Gemurim a lot. It's this whole Perek we kept talking about the conscious of the soul, the guilt, the feelings that the Yetzer Tov arouses again and again after a person, a human, or a Yid. It seems to be, we're more talking about Yid in here. It seems to be doing.
I was going to ask that question. Are we talking about Yidden or Goyim here?
So it is about Yidden, but I asked Rav Yosef Bornstein because to me I always learn it
who's that?
with Goyim, the Rosh Shiva, next door.
Okay.
So he's a big Goyim in Chabad stuff. He's just a humble person, so you won't hear him talk.
Really, Rav Bornstein is big into
Chabad.
Tanya.
Yeah, he's written Svarim like on Mashiach and the Bavitch Rebbe. Like he's a big person, but he just doesn't market himself that way. He's got written academic stuff in it. Yeah. He was even asked to teach him Ma'anot, but it didn't work out for him.
Where Ma'anot?
Yeah, I never got asked to teach him Ma'anot. I'm in touch with Rabbi Vichnin. It never happened. But anyway, let me just explain this. This is quite a complicated concept. So the idea is Shadikim She'ena Gemurim, that we have a whole beautiful Perek, and it's going to come up again and again. And also Tzadikim Gemurim is going to come up again and again. It is the idea of the Bnei Aliyah. But the Rishayim Gemurim, he just touches on. So I said, but then that would be like Amalek, Hitler, Machshamam,
Right.
Why is it Yidden? Yeah. So we're going to see at the end of the Perek, there's going to be a nice sweetening of the whole Nakuda.
Right.
But the idea of the Rishayim Gemurim, even Goyim can be included in the Sugya, because even, so he said, the whole Milchamas Amalek is a Milchama Lamata. It's talking about below in this world. Even Amalek in its Shoresh has a root of some sort of ta'elis, of some good. Yeah, we know that Haman's sons ended up learning in Bnei Brak. Yeah, they ended up becoming Talmid Chachomim. Shmuel Bar Shlishis, they say, was a descendant from Haman. He was a famous, I think he was a Tana, probably a Tana, who brought down the whole Indian of Hinuch and to the Lamed Tanokus. We learn out from him, and the whole Indian of Mishnah Niknas Adam Marben Besimcha. He understood it deeper than anyone.
Right.
It comes the time of Ada. So Moshe Wolfson explains this. Enters Ada, Mishnah Niknas Adam Marben Besimcha, because he was a descendant from Haman. That you can have a hafach, even Amalek, to Talmid Chacham, to Shmuel Bar Shlisis. Yeah.
Right. I guess he was a Megayah or something.
Yeah, they were Megayah. They escaped, and then was Megayah, and they learned Torah in Bnei Brak, and they became the Tanaim that taught us Mishnah Niknas Adam Marben Besimcha.
Right.
The whole Indian of the Simcha comes the koach that even Amalek can become a Yid. Yeah, that even though we have to kill, we have mitzvahs Mechias Amalek, but somehow there's an akuda that even them can become a Yid. That's the koach of Purim, to make a goy a Yid. Yadim. We're going to learn this in a minute. The goyim become a Yid. So the idea that we're going to talk about this whole Edom. Yadim, the Yidden became more Yidden.
Yeah.
So Yidden, Purim makes a Goya Yid, Kosher can make a Yid a better Yid. Yeah, just like the mikveh makes a Goya Yid, it can make a Yid a better Yid. This whole concept. So we have to understand that there is a
mikvah.
So there is a mikvah is gewaldig. So I know. I'll just say one meister, the Kovid Avshi, his father. So I went to Sfat with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law was the first person to ever put tefillin. I mentioned this yesterday's Torah, whoever listens to the recording, and he was the first person to put tefillin on me. And it was Parshas V'Yakov. And this week we're working very closely together on a website. And I have to be honest, over the last few years we haven't had much to do with each other, like practically. Even though we see each other once in a while, family things, we were very close to that time when he put tefillin on me. And now our relationships awakened through certain business common ground. We're doing some work together. And this week specifically, we're spending a lot of time together. And I'm even going to be going to see him for his daughter's bat mitzvah and even have a paycheck to give him. Wow. I'm going to be handing money over. On the week that he put tefillin on me the first time, Parshas V'Yakov, I'm going to be going to a family simcha, and he hasn't had a simcha for years. So it's like Hashgacha Pratis, with our relationships come back. Baruch Hashem, should be a discuss for him, discuss for us.
Amen.
Put tefillin on me. But we were together in Tzfat, and we went to Arizal's mikveh, just the two of us, and we went in the middle of the night in the winter. It was freezing. We were like, what's the word, hyperventilating or something?
Yeah.
And the place we were staying at had no heating. So it was like going to kill us. Like this was getting dangerous. So on the way, I said, no, let's not go back to our apartment. It's a dump. Let's go. We were staying some cheap, whatever. So let's go to Shalom Rav. I bet there's something going on there. Like it was late at night. We went in there, and he was sitting learning a few other bochum. Mamish late at night. He saw us. He looked at us. He saw us like I blew from the cold of the mikveh because we just got to Sfat. We wanted to go to the mikveh, and even though it was nighttime, so he came. He went out to the kitchen, came back with boiling hot kugel, two nice big plates, nice teas, warmed us up, literally. Like probably Satan could have got ill badly. He literally warmed us up, and it wasn't just that. The smile, the welcoming, and that was actually his father. Anyway, I've got loads of stories about him, but to get back to here, it's the idea of Rishonim that they don't feature much, and we're going to see it's not the sugi of Chabad. When we're learning with Chabad is Mashiach already. He's already getting into, as by the end of this Perek, the tikkun of the Rishonim. But let's see. Yeah, let's learn it. So we got the last time we were learning was about the there's always a little bit of good in this Rishonim she'enu gemam. Ach ben atayim israchet boyim lohiri tshuva kinas tov shenafsho mizgabe kasad ben atayim. So even Rishonim she'enu gemam, he's always focused on the fact they have a little bit of good, so they're going to do tshuva ben atayim. The problem is they're not strengthening themselves sufficiently to vanquish the evil. And that was my time on the world. They're not calling out enough the evil that's going on.
Yeah.
They're not fighting Hamas. They're not fighting wokeism. All this transgender nonsense. It is going to happen. The world's going to turn against it because it's evil. It's going to come, and the world's going to wake up. But I still need to lead that war. We need to wake up that Nakuda Tova, that Yetzer Tov, to remind the world they have values, and there is a path for humanity. Yeah, even Joe Rogan the other day said, the only way I see the world getting fixed is through all these things. He mentioned the quoted Yoshka, but like maybe not Yoshka, just principles of religion, like love and trust and connection and all the kinds of principles you'd want to get from religion. Yeah. And he said, so can't Yoshka come already? As he said, second coming. He started talking about it on Rogan. He's like the least most religious guy. But he starts quoting, because he's in the end
pro-Israel though.
No, he's not really pro-Israel, but at the end of the day, his soul the human soul is fed up with how wacky stuff has got. They've lost respect for all these things. It's like nonsense. And so they're looking for Yeshua. And they can't see it coming from technology, because technology is just making us in a darker place. So the only solution is, science is not bringing the solution. Science, the only thing is the soul. That's what I want to. My vision of the world is to teach the world the language of the soul. Where am I going to get it from? From the Tanya. I'm going to get it from Sfarim of Tzaddikim. That's what's going to teach me the language of the soul. So the idea that there's not enough good to be L'Natzech on the Ra. We have to awaken the good. That's the soul level. We have to awaken it to be L'Natzech on the Ra. Otherwise, if the soul level was stronger, then it wouldn't keep giving in to all these bad things. That's all the Nakuda is, this battle, and that's why we want to not be by the Rishonim, we want to be by the Beinoni and Tzaddikim, because otherwise you just keep falling into this habitual negative behavior, even though you feel bad, because you're still a good person, but you're stuck in this like cycle of feeling bad instead of just living in a meshechtik way, in a gewaltic way. The forish mechata legamri. Yeah, lifrosh mechata legamri. You have to really rid himself entirely from the sin, but he's not able to. The mid of azav. But as one who confesses sin and abandons him once for all. The problem that Chazal say that the Rishonim are filled with, imagine you're just living your whole life in regret. And then when people say, I don't regret, it's a lie. You know, you see the non-Jewish world, there's always this famous, I have no regrets. Nonsense. Or you're Russia, Gummo, which is not a good thing.
Right.
The only way these people live and can live with themselves is through regret. But that's not a geschmack way of living. That's like you always make fun of the Litvaks, but like we don't want to be like busy with charata all the time.
Right.
Like all the time doing like more shchora, sadness, anger towards our past, and it's not. How do we want to live? We don't want to live that. That's the Rishonim and Malayim charotas. They're filled with regret. Shamro v'Rishayim sheyesh bechinas tov v'nafsham adayin. These represent majority of wicked, whose soul still lingers some good. And this good which causes these feelings of vexation, remorse in their mind and heart. We thus know there are many levels within the rank of the Rasha who knows good. So that, remember, Tzaddikim, millions of levels of each person. Beinanim as well, we're going to see there's endless levels within that category. The Rishonim, endless levels. There's going to be all kinds of Rishonim who have all kinds of good, but it's not enough to misgaba on the Ra overall. That's the problem. It's not enough to win over the evil. The Rasha who knows good. That's what we've been discussing. Now we're going to transition to the Rasha who knows evil, only evil, the Rasha Gomo. And look, how long is it? It's literally 3-4 lines.
3 lines, that's it.
Okay, so I wasn't just making up. He really just brushes over it, and even that he sweetens the whole thing because he's a chassid. In the end, the chassidim, we don't want to stay with the Hitler machshamam kind of chevra. We're not. That's not, unless we're talking about the sons of Haman who became Balit Tshuva and Gerim. We're not interested in being in that headspace. You know, it's like you can end off. I don't know if you've ever had these conversations with friends, but you can spend like half an hour just going on and on about all the wickedness in the world.
Yeah.
Like Rogan has one of his rants about what's going on nowadays. It's a 3-hour podcast. There's usually going to be about half an hour about how crazy everything is.
Right.
You could do that, but the Chassidim no, why waste your time? Let's just let's see Asay Tov. Let's see what we can do about it. Nevertheless, we still have to learn it. So it says, Ava Misha Ein Mitzrayit Ga'alam, he who never feels contrition, Ein Boim Lahoy Tshuva Klau, Nikra Rasha V'Ralo, and in whose mind no thoughts of repentance or ever enters, called a Rasha who knows only evil. So there's no charata. Literally, that's when you see that concept of no regrets, when it's actually applied, not when someone's just, big mouth, think he's holding on some, so-called, the well-being movement, where they've sort of distorted a lot of stuff, where they start to think that they're on this path of no regrets. It's like they're holding, like they're empowered. I don't want to say any labels. They're just in a state where they believe totally in their path, but it's all towards negative. Like these TikTok people, they're like totally into their whole feed and everything they're doing, but it's all like pulling down. It's all the algorithms the wrong way towards evil, unfortunately. Right. For only the evil in his soul has remained in him. And it's predominantly the good, the latter departed from within him or her. I would add in her as well. I don't know why, because they don't like to talk about women so much in this time. But it means both. The letters depart from women. Maybe because women are probably on a higher level. I don't know. But the point is that men or people, humans, who have let the evil consume them.
Right. I wonder what that evil is. Like, do we think, we don't think about like a Russia. So when you think of a Russia, you think of like a Russia. Like he's a Russia. He's a stealer. He's a killer. He's all these Russia stuff. But like,
I'll be honest.
Nowadays,
I considered some of these thoughts once, back in the day, before I became connected to the Yiddishkeit and Torah and found. I thank Hashem because it's good to have had those moments of thoughts and experiences because it gave me context, a deeper context, like we said, experiential life.
Right.
So sometimes when I looked at some of say Hitler, like the whole Machshamam, the whole Nazi approach, and I was learning it historically, and I was thinking some of it makes sense, this idea of purifying humanity. Like, why do you want these disabled, bad genes in the human world. Like you
Right.
start getting into this, start thinking about it.
I was right.
Starts being a little bit logical. Like, look at technology. They're going to start with China. They're already fiddling around already. They're
Right.
starting to take gene. What's the word?
Gene pooling.
Gene pooling and this gene. Yeah. There's a new genetics. All this high level stuff. They're going to start playing around with the human genes to produce the ultimate human beings. They're going to be big and strong and
LeBron James,
intelligent and but like only the good genes.
Right. They'll probably all be black. Also,
that kind of way
racially,
of racially. There's an ethnic cleansing kind of feel to it, which is totally evil.
Right.
But a person could start. You understand? A person could start getting nervous.
Yeah, I think the rishus that exists today.
When you start looking at it,
I think the rishus that exists today is really, and also because like I used to be in that world a little bit too.
Yeah. So I thought about it.
Comes from that place.
Yeah.
It's like this rishus. You see it today, like the people, the we'll call it the liberal world, but
it's hard to label it.
Marching out in the street, chanting, from the river to the sea. A lot of these people are Jews. It's the saddest thing. Like these liberal, mamish, like toasted Jews.
No, my brother just said, I'm so excited. The ceasefire looks like any day. So my wife went nuts on the chat, like back at him, and then deleted it because she knows that it's not going to.
I think it's because these.
She's not going to
are so
it's a family
gone.
chat. And we want to keep things positive.
Right.
But what she said right back was totally true. Like these people are not. They don't want ceasefire, so why give them ceasefire?
Right.
They want to kill us.
People don't want ceasefire.
Yeah.
And the
it's not like so. The only answer with such evil is to remove it.
Meaning, like it's the evil in his animal soul, right? His evil in his soul is all that remains, and so that the evil overwhelms the good. It's like
I'm happy you got this explanation here because I tried to learn this about it, but it's helpful.
The evil from him overcomes everything. That's all there is, and so he thinks this person would say this person thinks it's like you take like Bernie Sandwich. Bernie Sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Shapiro says he's not a Jew, like in reality.
He's mamish.
He's a Jew just in title, which is hard to say, but I get it. I get what he's getting at. He's trying to distinguish
How
Jews.
How could you watch your brothers and sisters get slaughtered and raped and beheaded, and all you're talking about is, like the people of the occupied. Like, how could you look at that and not feel?
Yeah.
Like you have people who are like just Jewish people who had not a sense of Judaism left in them.
Yeah.
And this happened, and just like immediately.
Well, I spoke about it yesterday because
on fire.
I know the new generation. He's the old generation who unfortunately picked up a lot of old.
His rishus has sparked a whole generation.
Yeah, it's a whole generation, and people follow him. But the point is that
there's American politics.
But there's a new generation of Jews who are growing up with the internet in their hands. Not just Bernie Sanders, like old school communism.
He sparked that whole.
It's coming from the old school communists, like socialists,
in the American, the progressive.
Clipper from the old days. Yeah. But there's a new version. Like I speak to some of the new generation of kids, where they're heading, and they look at technology as their wise tool. They're not looking to the old communist socialist writings like Bernie does. They're looking at the new, data pools and all the new podcasters and thought leaders, and they're coming out with all kinds of days of and where they're starting to, I speak to some of them and I said, you keep Yom Kippur. This is some guy, 21, 22, came out of university. No, I'm like, you're a Jew. And when I went back to London, he even got an aliyah and got called up as a Cohen as well. And I'm like, going back and forth with him. And I see so much Jewishness in him, and I see so much good in him. He's got such midas, and there's so much good that only you can get by being a Yid. Like just turn natural goodness that he has, like just Elokite, But then I see also the effect it's had on his mind and his heart and his lifestyle with the lack of Yiddishkeit. Yeah.
Right.
So it's sort of like it's like a nebuch like Tinach Shenishpa, where they never really experienced true Yiddishkeit to then make that choice.
Wow.
So even though they've got relatives and they've gone to shul and they've had these moments of Judaism, but it was never penetrating enough to outdo all the other voices, And I in the end I feel like they never really had a fair shot. That's my feeling. A lot of these people never really had a fair shot. They never really were given the truth fully. Like even they talk to me and even ask me shilas once in a while. He messages me, this guy, and he asks me Yiddishkeit shilas, and I give him the true answers. I'm not afraid to say the truth to someone, and he always says thank you and appreciates it. And Mamela, maybe it's rubbed off in a little bit having someone like me in his life, but he hasn't become frum. He has not keeping Yiddishkeit. And my thing is because he's never really like you had a vision to niggin that changes your life. Yeah. In a proper setup, in this proper real Yiddish experience, you experience it, and your neshama comes on fire for a moment. You taste something. You see you saw the Baba Rebbe, yeah. You've seen real things, like things that deny all the shekah in the world, because these people are such ish emities, they're such lights, beacons of truth. When you've had an experience, a moment of nigunim, a moment of islavus, a moment of emes, that's deeper than all the VR, AR, AI, all the initials, yeah, deeper than all the excuses to roots him of not being connected to Hashem. That once you've had that moment of truth, it overwhelms. Like one of the things that Rav Wolfson said, why the real Chassidic derech never really got caught up with the Haskalah, is because it had achrayut, it had panemius connection to Torah, and it had tzaddikim. And once you've had those moments of tasting a kugel, yeah, on Erev Shabbos, or the davening of a Shabbos day with the Zmiris and the Nigunim of a Tzaddikim, not just like, putter yourself, real davening. We've had a real mikveh, hoist a mikveh, a real Yiddishkeit moments.
I like a cult mikveh.
Yeah, cult mikveh in Arizal. We had one of those real moments.
Blast my neshama.
It's a life-changing moment because you suddenly connect into the world of Emes. Now, how do you bring it about? Then we're learning Tanya. You have to constantly work on increasing the tov and the soul level, get to yourself to the Beinoni place where you're no longer listening to the evil inside of you. But these people, a lot of them, I feel, they never really had a full Yiddish moment. They never really had it.
Yeah.
So this is what he says. This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is really nice.
This is Chassidus. The good now stands in a manner of makif over him. Yeah, this is all the Panimis of Torah. The good now stands in makif of Mala. Yeah, this is what the Rosh Kolah was hinting at. The good, the Shorish of Mala is still good. Even with the Rishon Gemurim, Peladik, there's still a light, surrounding light around these people. I called it Oira. It's called, in the worlds of Torah, or Makif, yeah?
Yeah.
There's potential light that's surrounding him. It's like a bigger version of him that hasn't yet been internalized.
Wow.
L'chein Amar Razal Ochel Beyasara Shrinta Shoria. The last line. See, 2 lines it pretty much covers the Rishonim Gemurim. He says, therefore the Sage said, over every gathering of any Jews, even the Rishonim Gemurim, rests the Shechina, the divine presence.
Which is why, by the way, and how it sounds a little crazy.
Yeah.
Which is why Hitler wanted to, Yimach Shemo, he wanted to kill all the Jews.
I mentioned this yesterday.
Whether they were from or not, he didn't care.
And Haman, he says it here. This is the next thing. This is the whole thing. We learned this. The Tzemach Tzedek says the word Yehudim. Yehudim normally spelled in the book of Esther with 1 letter. Yud before the final letter. Why is it when the word is used in connection with Ha's decree, Haman's decree against the Yidin, it says 2 Yuds. Misyadim, it says 2 Yuds. Right. The Tzemach Tzedek answered, Yud is numerically equivalent to the 10. It represents a 10 soul power possessed by both the divine and animal souls. Remember, we learned this Esther spheres of the Nefesh Elikus and Esther spheres of the Nefesh Bahamis. These are the Jews who conduct their lives solely according to the dictates of the divine's 10 powers, which in the soul's 10 powers, which in other Jews the animal soul prevails, because also by the animal soul's 10 powers. Haman plans to eliminate all Jews, which is what you just said about Hitler as well, Machshamam. Same kind of Nakuda of Amalek. Right. Even those who were 2 Yuds, who were ruled by the 10 evil soul as well. He wanted to kill the guys who married out. Famous story of the Klosenberger. He was in the camps. Beautiful story. He was in the camps and he was worse. He was in one of these like death camps and he was with a Hungarian treasurer, the top of Hungary. He was a Yid. He had inside him a Yiddish soul. He was originally from a Yid. Maybe even his mother wasn't Jewish, but his father was. Something like that. Some connection to Jews. So they threw him, the top guy in the Hungary economy. They threw him into the death camp with the Klosenberger, and he's dying on his bed, and he doesn't want anyone to talk to him. He's dying. He's lying there on his bed, dying from hunger. He's not built to be able to survive the camp. Nor was the Rebbe, but the Rebbe had a neshama, had a munah. Right. So this guy, everything, he said, even the Klosenberger decided to talk to him on his last few weeks of his life and started nudging him about Yiddish kind of stuff, and he was getting angry at the Rebbe. And he said to him, look, he said back to him, so what happens to your non-Jewish wife? Where is she? And all your sons who you gave your whole life to train them to become lawyers and doctors and all this and that. What happened to them? Why aren't they protecting you? Why didn't they come to save you? They all just bailed on him and got on with his wealth and life and had a good time.
Wow.
So he's like, you're killing me talking like this. The Rebbe, you're making me pain. He said, I want to bring you to tshuva, that's why. I want you to feel charata on everything you did on your whole life.
Was he?
Yeah. Basov, he was mischahid. He's like, did tshuva the last minute, he did Shema, did the whole thing, and he passed away, but with having tremendous remorse. Because it came, the Klosenberger room, and let him leave the world, denying his Yiddishkeit. Because in the end, the only thing left he had was being a Yid. That was it. And the Machshamam showed him that was the only thing he was. He was a Yid. When I was in the non-Jewish world, I got beaten for being Jewish. Beaten. Right. My mace smashed in. I got beaten in a park one time. I got beaten up again and again just for being a Yid. They knew I was a Yid without even have to say anything.
These evil people.
The Haman, no problem. The Hitler, that wakes up the Yiddish neshama, misyadim. It wakes up the soul that we're Yidden. So the Shechina Shora, even when we're in a state of Golis, we're in a state of, God forbid, a Holocaust or what happened in the times of Megillah, a Gezerah on all of Klal Yisrael. It was such a Gezerah. Came the Semach Tzedek and it was Masbeh that the 10 powerful levels of the soul, the Jewish divine soul, that's the extra yud in the Misyadim. So when the world is spurred, sometimes 2 years, even after he was proud, to which Semach responded. Someone asked him and said, but it says Misyadim again and again now, later on in the Megillah.
Okay.
And look, we're Erev Purim right now, so it's Hashgacha Pratis, we're learning this.
This is crazy.
After suffering under Haman's evil decree and ultimately witnessing God's salvation, even though Jews repented became equals of their brethren who were led by the dictates of the divine soul and its good inclination. They were the guys, Tzadikim Gemorim, Tzadikim Shein and Gemorim, the Beinonim, all those guys who worked so hard for Yiddishkeit. Come these Rishonim Gemorim. They're Rishonim Gemorim. Thus concluded Semach said that the 2 Yuds is also Yiddish for Jew became equal. They became equalized. So I said over a vault, when you make a l'chaim, you have 2 Yids. 2 Yids in the middle. You ever thought about that? The old Sidurim, do you remember the 2 Yids of Shem Havaya?
Yeah.
That's Keneged Yud of Shem Havaya and the end Yud of Adni. Pesechetz Yudecha, open up the Yudin, open up the Jews to be Shepherdic, to be l'chaimdik. Pesechetz Yudech, open up the Shef, open up l'chaim, open up Am Yisrael, Misyadim, bring Am Yisrael, all of Klal Yisrael to tshuva. So the Bernie Sanders even, he has an Or Makif. I know he's so far off and he has such problems of what the bad influence he's had. But Basof, you could still probably have the Shechina when he came into a room with the Knesset members. There were 9 Knesset members. Right. And they weren't even keeping Torah. They're also like left-wing, liberal, whatever they are in Israel. There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. And they come in a room with Bernie Sanders and there's 10 of them. Shechina Shura.
The Shechina is there.
And the guy I mentioned who doesn't keep Yom Kippur, the Shechina Shura. I don't understand it, but that's the Hamtaka from Chassidus. It won't stay by the Rishonim Gemurim. It won't stay in a negative place. You see, This is the derech of Chabad. It's Mashiachtik. It takes us straight to the point. The Shechina is still sure in these guys. And that's Big Chizik. He says underneath, he says, thus the good in the soul is in a state of suspended animation. That's the idea of the Omaki. Paralyzed yet not destroyed. Hence, even the completely wicked individual can go through a permanent, reactivate the good and repent for the gates of repentance and not close to anyone. That is to say, even if they are wicked, the Shekhinah hovers over them. Even the old language talks this way. Yeah, it's
amazing. It's an interesting Indian also. Like the Shekhinah is still there, just it's hovering right now. It's waiting.
Yeah. So I think it's a big lesson, just the fact that he brushes over the Rishonim Gemurim very quickly, and ends off with this whole sweetening. The Shekhinah is there, the Or Makiv. There's still this potential. The Or Shomashiach will be Megala, the truth, the Misyadim, the Ulam Yisrael are equal. Amei Kulam Tzadikim. That's the true equality. That was the problem. All these Yidden, they get lost in Golas. They start trying to bring equality in the wrong ways. It's the quality of neshama. It's the quality lifnei Hashem, to Torah, that we're all going to be purified by Hashem. It comes from, only a quality of outcome can come through panemius. It's not going to come through gashmius. That was the problem. They listened to the Nefesh Bahamis. They wouldn't listen to the Nefesh of the Elikus.
Which is the ultimate. Again, this is the ultimate reassurance to anyone who's feeling like they've been, a guy's in a bad spot, someone's done something as bad as possible. Sometimes you feel like a piece of crap. Like
Yeah, that's the Yitzhahara.
you go home, you're a tyrant to your children.
The sin after the sin, the way you think about yourself.
Right. That's the biggest sin.
You have to remind yourself you're a Yid.
And then the sin
Nothing
of thinking
can
about
destroy
the
a
sin
Yid.
of being...
A Yid is eternal.
Right, yeah. That no matter what, the Shekhinah is always there and it's always hovering over your body.
Yud is Gematria 10. It's the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah.
Not only that, it's like...
You made Salam Alekim.
It's like
godly.
if... The thing I love about the idea of like over 10, right? It says, it's like, even if you're in a room of 10 Rishayim, or you're in a room of 10 Tzadikim, you still need the 10. It's like, it doesn't make a difference, the makeup of it. It's all...
That's what the Rosh Chodesh said.
Neshama.
Where do we learn out the lesson of the minyan? Where do we learn out minyan from? Eidas Koirach.
Right.
Eidah Meraglim. We learn it out from the Raglim, from Koirach, from the worst of Am Yisrael in the Dorot Day and the holiest time. We learn out from the lowest guys, from the guys who did the biggest of errors. I mean, they were high neshamas, but they fell the lowest. Koirach and the Meraglim, and they're the Eidah. They're the minyan. That's where we learn it from, the halacha of a minyan.
Right. Like Koirach was like the first one of the progressive...
he's the shorish of anyone who's misnagid Moshe.
What is it called?
The
Democratic Progressive Society. They have like a name for it.
Nonsense.
The people in America.
Nonsense.
Okay, yeah. Let me see.
Let's start. Say for Beinoni.
Yeah, we'll start it.
So it says beautiful thing.
My Isha wants to...
Yeah.
Sounds so weird word, Isha.
Your wife.
My Isha. When someone says Ishti,
Ishti.
it just sounds like... The translation of Ishti is my woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I call my wife woe man. You know why woe man?
Why?
Because it's a man of woes.
Ah, there you go.
It's a little bit silly. Like when my wife's in like one of those moods where she's woeing, like got issues with me or issues with our life, I'm like, you're being a woe man.
It's like a funny language because you call your wife Ishti, my woman, and she calls me Habal. Our master.
Yeah. You like that one.
I'm just like
Bali.
This. Just sounds so strange. Really, she's
if I show you the reels my wife sends me, it's always the worlds of gorillas, being annoying.
Except as I should look at the other way around.
We have to try to be more neshama. That's the answer. Okay, Zayg, that's from the Arizal.
That was the Arizal mikveh. That's some klipas.
That's all good. You should focus in. So the idea now, the Perek 12, Beinoni. We finally came back to the Beinoni. Yeah, the term Tzaddik and Russia, we've been dealing with this whole avoda of Tzaddik and not Russia. Who is this not neither? Who is not a Tzaddik, not a Russia? The Beinoni.
The in-betweener.
In-betweener, that's a good one. So with Shmuel Diamond, let's just see it very quickly from his
if I was
summary.
A band,
B'nai
I'd
Aliyah.
call myself the in-betweener.
That's quite a good band name, actually. Not bad. Let's do it.
I also had another.
I'll make another profile.
Another good name for a band.
This is still the inner struggle. Overload. That's another good one.
That's a good one. I thought of it.
Especially for our door.
Sensory overload.
Too much. The Beinoni. The Beinoni never does an avera, nor in thought, nor in speech, action, meaning the garments of the Beinoni are perfect. And the Rebbe says he never did an avera, nor will he ever do an avera. So this is obviously a madrega. But the emotions of the Nefesh Elikus do not have exclusivity over the Beinonis in the world. The emotions of Nefesh Behemoths are still alive and experienced. With the correct energy and activity, in particular tefillah, at the correct time, the Beinoni contemporarily experiences the dissolution of the emotions of the Nefesh Bahamis. But in the default state, he still experiences the drives of both the Nefesh Bahamis and the Nefesh Elikus. So he never actually acts on it, but he's still back and forth. The dynamics are still, the struggle is still there.
Right.
Which, halavai, we should be on such a level, but that's the concept. Then we're going to talk about the moyach sholet al alev, the mind rules over the heart, meaning that we're actually naturally able to overcome the device of the nefesh bahamis by using our minds. Distract, which is a madrega also, to have a big koyach and moyach, to have a big mind, to be able to rule over your nefesh bahamis, the left side of the heart. Distraction, disidentification are effective ways of controlling one's behavior. Right. He's bringing that from the Chabad, but you know where he's getting that from also? Eckhart Tolle. He's very into Eckhart Tolle, my friend.
This guy?
He's very into... I always know when he's going off a little bit into some of his Sfarim Chetzonim. He's into Sfarim. He's a very big fan of Eckhart Tolle.
What is it? Chachma Umas, whatever.
Umam Tamin. Yeah, he holds that this can totally one with the Tanya. The whole concept of disassociation.
A lot of it is
and and disidentification.
Have you read the book, The Alchemist?
That also is a special book. That book changed me in university. Yeah. That lit me up.
I recommended it to my wife. She read it, and she recommended it to...
It's like a Baal Shem Tov story.
Yeah. And then Toby told me recently he just finished reading it because his wife recommended it to him. Ooh, my wife
See,
recommended
these are
it to
books
her.
I read like when I was 18, like when I was reading the Kuzari and I was reading the Alchemist at the same time.
Yeah, The Alchemist was.
Misbehavior takes place because of a ruach shtus, spiritual insanity.
Yeah.
The Beinoni is not a tzaddik because he has control of only his behavior, nor his emotions, and is therefore subject to his huriyavera. So he still has thoughts of carnal union and whatever. He has all kinds of thoughts, but he's never acting on them. It's never impacting to the level of avera.
Right.
It's just it's an inner struggle. The Beinoni will always treat his fellow kindly, even in his thoughts, and not hold in any negative, toxic resentment. So that's also between man and man. So there's between man and man. It also means a Beinoni is never going to be toxic. He's always in a good space of.
So he's saying he's never actually upset at other people.
Not
Or
in a.
he might be, but he doesn't act.
No, never acts on it. So
he might also hold the resentment.
So you got to always go to the healthy emotions. He's a healthy emotional person. Well, I'm glad he brought that. You think it's all like seichel here, but then no, we're learning. This is all about the struggle going on in the inner world, which includes the emotions, the spiritual levels of the emotions as well. So we're here. We've got the Rasha, we got the Beinoni, and we got the Tzaddik. So that's the levels. The Beinoni accomplishes by not allowing himself to be dominated anyway by the animal soul, even for the shortest duration. Never thinking, speaking, surely not acting in a sinful manner. This is lessons in Tanya now. The garments of divine soul alone, namely thought, speech, and action, Torah, mitzvah, are those used by the Beinoni. Okay, let's read a few lines just so we start. Beinoni she'olam ein ra go b'kol kach lekovich et ze'ir katana. Back to the ir katana mochel.
Right.
The Beinoni intermediate man is who. This is what he calls it here. What's he called it there? The
Beinoni,
in-betweener man.
The in-betweener.
Here he says that the intermediate man is
The
whom.
Beinoni is a person whose evil never gains him. Right.
Yeah, in whom the evil of the animal soul never attains power to conquer the small city. So he has the right side of the heart, the left side of the heart. It's ir katana. Both sides are called the ir katana. There's a war in this city, the small city. Now, the left side is the Yetzer Hara, or Nefesh Bahamis. The right side is influenced by the Nefesh Alakus from the Moyach, from the mind, and it never dominates the Yetzer Hara, the left side, over the Yetzer Tov on the right side. This Laubish Beguf L'Chatois, so it's to clothe itself and make it actually sin. So he's not actually going to influence him and actually go and eat that treif sandwich or something, or speak that treif for Lashon Hara, or do that longer ma'aser bittul Torah. Yeah, I say longer because the subtle levels might not be shaykh to the chait because it's like levels. For Dibar Tabam, always obligated Torah, so then nobody doesn't sin. So these are more edler things we'll get into. Let's say the three garments of the animal soul. So that's, remember we learned the three garments. Thought, speech, action. This is originating in what? The klipa. The animal soul.
Right.
Ein geburim ba al nefesh alakis l'slabish beguf. They do not prevail over the right side of the heart and the mayach. Where the nefesh alakis is, to actually clothe itself in action and speech and thought. We've had a little bit of contradictions with Shmuel's Diamond's point about he does still have some hirurim. So we're going to have to get into that. So it's an eight-other thing.
Right. Little intricacies.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So in the brain, the thinking forbidden thoughts of the animal soul, not in the mouth to speak Lashon Hara or nivel pair, or in the actions or the 248 organs of the human being, what it does. And he's not going to do sin to defile them, God forbid. Because that case, he would be a rasha for that moment. And remember, this is also could be a concept in time as well. There could be some fluctuations. That he has a moment of falling into the rasha level, but then he gets himself out of that and back into the level of Beinoni where he's never doing sins.
Interesting.
I would say there's a lot of, like, in the real levels of life, there's going to be a lot of fluctuating around all these different terminologies and levels. So you'd have to drive yourself mad. Where am I now? What you have to do is try to figure out what I want to be. So it's about more to do with Rotzen. That's what we're learning in the Shir in the morning with Rosh Shlomo, the idea of Rotzen, Tanug, getting into the Panimis, what we want. What's the vision? If we have the right vision, then we'll constantly get out of any of the negative lifestyles or ways of being. That's why the Panimis is very key. Yeah. Sorry, I made a mistake. Only the three garments of the mind soul, they alone manifest themselves in the body. So this is a real Torah-dika person. He's only allowing. It's still there. There's still this like little voice in his left side saying, all these like weird things and this inner turmoil, this inner struggle, but it's never clothing itself in his speech.
He's never
his
allowing
action,
it to turn into action.
rather than godly soul is the one that's talking. He's thinking godly thoughts. He's speaking godly words. He's acting godly. He's doing the Tarag mitzvahs. It's all Torah. He's busy with the 630 mitzvahs.
That crossing off point between machshava and it's still being there, right?
Yeah.
It's like machshava is like, let's just say, we'll use something a little bit, a kosher one. So a guy is a machshava of eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
The non-kosher version.
Sure.
So you have a machshava and then you start thinking about it. I guess that maybe the difference is you drive past the McDonald's and you're like, oh, McDonald's. And then you start thinking, I'd love to have some cheddar cheese on my fleischigs.
Sure. So that whole inclination that we still have, the wants, those kind of things you're talking about, so that is what we're going to discuss, is that it doesn't manifest. It's just there. Did you see the difference?
Yeah. It
it's
doesn't
in
manifest.
Present.
Right.
And this is important. That means we have to be real, that we have a nefesh bahamas.
Yeah.
It's still part of our life.
Yeah.
We're just not giving it...
Cheeseburger.
We're not giving it precedence. We're not giving it power.
Right. We're not feeding it the cheeseburger.
Yeah. We're saying, no, I'm a from Yid. The from Yid don't eat cheeseburgers. Sorry. You have like a certain... you define, like he said deeply from Eckhart Tolle, you don't... I don't know if Vada quoted it, but I'm getting the feeling he did. You're not associating yourself with that line of life. It's nothing to do with you. So once it's no longer part of your lifestyle and your way, you're never going to really do it. You're never going to do the Avera because you're from Yid. From Yid is not so great. You're a Shomer Torah Yid. You're a Tzaddik. I know you're a Tzaddik. Because that would be correct. You're not a Tzaddik. You're
a Rosh Hashanah Gomer.
No.
That's a good compliment.
No. Over here we're learning Beinoni now.
Right.
You're not a Rosh because you're not going to give into it.
I'm just joking.
You've defined yourself as Shomer Torah mitzvahs, I suppose.
Right.
But how would you feel comfortable defining it? And when people ask me, like, what are you? Are you Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox? Are you Haredi? Are you Chassidic? Or Meshugana? You're just, they have all these terminologies. I just say, I'm trying to serve Hashem, like Eved Hashem. That I feel comfortable saying. I want to be an Eved Hashem. Right. I'm working every day to be an Eved Hashem. I want to serve Hashem.
Right.
That includes Torah
mitzvahs. What do you do for a living? You'd be like, I serve Hashem. That's what I do for a living.
Yeah, your panas is a way of serving Hashem.
I feel uncomfortable saying that to people.
But your panas is serving Hashem.
When people ask me, what do you do for a living?
But it really is serving Hashem, because what do you use your panasa for? Roll with it. What do you use? How much do you pleasure yourself? Not much.
The money I use towards drugs. No, I'm joking.
No, seriously, I'm your friend.
Right,
I see what you're up to.
Right.
From what I see, you're using it to go to a simmer in Svat, dinner in Svat, to be able to hang out with Avshi and the mikveh, Arizo, and you're doing good things. You're using your money to pay for hinnuch. You're using money to have a nice enough car you can fit with your family and to be able to do these things.
Right.
You've got a dira and there's no way as nice as you could have in America, but it's still nice enough that your wife's not going to shecht you.
Right. It's a perfect balance.
Yeah. So this is using, that's Eved Hashem. You're using a panasa for Avodas Hashem. So that once again, we have to be malamitz. Let's end off. Ain't geburim al nefesh legusabish beguf neper all the different things. It's not affecting that rach shalish vish nefesh. It's all going to stay in the realm of ma'aseh shel tarag mitzvahs of Torah. Lo over avera miyamav lo yavo lo olam. The Beinoni has never committed any transgression, nor will he ever transgress. That's why I said I'm not going according to Tanya. I'm going to cause reality that you're going to fluctuate. According to Tanya, a real Beinoni, he never sinned. He never sinned his whole life. He never had Coca-Cola, or the other kind of Coke.
It is as if.
No, he says lo yavo lo olam.
Oh no, he adds this little word here.
He does.
Once he reached level Beinoni, it is as if he has never committed any transgression.
Oh wow!
Because any trace
That's a
of
completely
prior
different
sins
translation.
have been wiped out through repentance. Notes on Tanya. What's notes on
That
Tanya?
is a completely different translation.
Whose notes on Tanya?
Maybe these. Lo nikra alav. We'll have to read it now, and we'll finish on that. Lo Beinoni, as long as it's natural. Oh, wait a minute. On the other hand, you're right. He brings a note underneath. On the other hand, past offences need not preclude one from attaining the rank of Beinoni. If there is proper repentance, at any rate, the rank of Beinoni is defined in the Tanya as a far superior rank of the Tzaddik, as defined generally when it applied to one whose good deeds exceeded the bad.
Right.
Yeah, the standard of what
Once
we
you-
understood Tzaddik was good deeds
And if you've
exceeding the
taken
bad.
some of the Torah
This
of
is-
Rabbi Levi
the
Yitzchak-
Tzaddik of the Tanyas doesn't even have bad b'chlau, just tiny minimal bad. So this concept, this is the last line, Lo nikra alav shem Rasha afilu sha'achas rega achas kol yamav. The name Rasha never belonged to him, temporarily, not even for a moment, throughout his life. So this is a high level. Beinoni never ever fell. And there was no transition. There was no falling into sin. It was just the whole life. That's the strict translation there. You put in as if. Yeah? And that's from Rav
They
Chaim
put
Miller.
in notes
From Chaim
on
Miller.
Tanya.
And it's based on the notes. Let's see what the Rebbe says and we'll stop on this. The Rebbe Shita notes the question is well known. Regards to the Beinoni is one never transgressed the following questions commonly raised. Is it not possible through repentance subsequent divine service, is what I'm holding in, the Baal Tshuva world, the one attained the rank of Beinoni despite his previous sins? After repenting, one can rise even to the level of a tzaddik. Surely then the rank of Beinoni is not beyond his reach. We have answered this question in the following manner. When the Alter states Beinoni never transgressed, he does not mean that Beinoni never sinned in his life as a human being. But in his life as a Beinoni has no history of sin. The Beinoni's present spiritual state is such that sin in his past as well as his future has no place in his life. You hear the Nakuda? It's as if he never sinned. So it is, like you just said. He did sin, but he never. It says now he's got to a level where it's as if he never sinned. It doesn't feature.
It's not all
He would not sin even if he was subject to the same temptations and charged with led him to sin in the past. Therefore, true to the state from the perspective of his present, he never sinned. Like the statement that Beinoni would never sin is understood the same vein. There's another is possible to sin. He does not, after all, lose his freedom of choice. While explained above, his present state is such that it precludes sinning in the future, despite the trials that the future may bring. He's become a Shomer Torah mitzvah yid. He's not going to fall into this. It's not part of his inner makeup as well.
So we could all be Beinoni.
Yeah, we already can, based on this explanation. Thanks to the Rebbe and the clarification here. To be cast as a true Beinoni, one must fulfill these conditions. For if one spiritual state precludes the sinning only under present conditions, some to a sin, was subject to the temptation, then he'd be a Rasha She'eino Gomer. Yeah? So the problem, in the same way, the author precludes the same Rasha referring to one's sins, being applied to him temporarily. For the Beinoni has reached a state where sin is precluded under any circumstance. It remains to be understood that when a lofty person is considered a Beinoni, not a Tzaddik, this matter is now clarified. So we're going to get into the chiluk between the Tzaddik and the Beinoni. But the Beinoni and the Rosh Hashanah Gomer, the chiluk is he's got to a level where it's as if he never sinned.
Okay, you just change the G into the Y.
Yeah.
And it says
the Slayer edition.
Slayer edition. That's what we're going to do it. Okay, Givaldik. Tomorrow, maybe we'll do after Shacharit.
Yeah.
Because this is a Shalom Bias administrative decision.
Okay, I'm up for it.
Because it's tough, you know.
I think it's if you're able to make the change, I'm able to make the change.
All right. Torah.
I'm here for it. Let's change. Torah to change you. That was another good idea.